Well, welcome to the Alignment Zone. This is our new feature that we're going to be doing quarterly, probably whenever we do our newsletters. And my name is Dr. Paul Levine. I'll be the host, and we're going to be discussing all things OrthoK and myopia management. And I'd like to just jump right into it. So I'm super excited and happy to have my good friend and honestly one of the best orthokeratologists on the planet, Julio Arroyo, join me today for our discussion. And I can prove that he's one of the best orthokeratologists in the planet because he's a fellow of the IAOMC, and there's fewer than 200 of those on the globe. And we may be small in numbers, but we're big in influence, and none bigger than Julio. So I'd like to just ask you a couple of questions. If you could maybe talk to us a little bit about where you practice and how you got into myopia management and OrthoK, and that would be awesome.
All right, well, thank you, Paul, for the very kind words. I just followed the lead. I think we got onto this around the same time. It's probably, I think professionally, it's been without a doubt the best decision that I made back in the day. I started in 2008, and I started when I had, I started a cold turkey practice back in 2005. By 2007, I said I am going to do OrthoK. So in 2008, I bought a topographer, and happened to have some kind of deal to design lenses or with a specific lab that I am still using to this day, which I think personally is one of the best because of the versatility it offers. But anyway, beyond the point, that was a solo practice. I sold in 2016. I made it up to $1 million, and then I sold it. I started another practice up in the Woodlands area where I live in 2011. So for about 5 years, I was going back and forth between the office, and I had another associate that helped me out in between the gaps. And then iHealth Consultants started in 2011. I moved it in 2020, in the midst of COVID. I moved it to a new building that we built out. We have a beautiful facility at 5,000 square feet. We're trying to use to capacity. We're very excited to be there, and we're still, of course, doing OrthoK. OrthoK is about 70% of the practice revenue every year.
Wow.
Yes.
You've got an incredible OrthoK practice, and you're a master marketer as well. So perhaps you could talk to us a little bit about your marketing strategy and, kind of your I suppose, internal and external marketing that you do to, to generate interest in OrthoK and all that. So if you could kind of walk us through a little bit of those ideas that you do.
Absolutely, Paul. Well, I think marketing is pretty much everything. Without marketing, marketing involves anything. In order to sell your product, in order to, if you have something of value, people need to understand that you have something of value. If they don't think you have something of value, or they don't know you have something of value, you may have nothing. It doesn't serve any purpose. So marketing enables you to get your message out to the masses, right? And then the most important part of marketing is reach out to people that can benefit from the value that you offer. Then you have that in mind. The question is how to figure out how to do that. So I think there are two types of marketing. I don't want to get too long in this because, as I was saying to you before we started our conversation, marketing, OrthoK or myopia management marketing itself is a probably 1 hour, 2 hours conversation. But there are two major things that you have. Is you have internal and external marketing, right? And you should call them internal as in inexpensive, and external as expensive, because if you had to choose, you want to do marketing expensively or inexpensively. Well, you want to do it inexpensively, you have to do it internally. So the question is how many patients you have in your office, and how many of them know about OrthoK, and how many of them benefit from OrthoK. and that's internal. So you can get those people to know your message. You'll be doing a great thing, because that's the best, most inexpensive way to attract patients that may benefit from what you offer, from this wonderful thing we call myopia management, or orthokeratology in particular. External, of course, is necessary in my opinion and in my personal experience, because if you want to grow, you need external marketing no matter what. But let me tell you a few things, just for the audience to say, well, yeah, that's great, but what do you mean? What do I do? Yeah, I just don't know where to start, right? I tell my patients, but I feel like I feel I lost, because they look at me like this, deer eyes in the middle of the night, looking at these lights, like, what are you talking about? Okay, I'll pass, maybe next year. So, but anyway, if you come to our office, you will see that everything and anything in every corner is inspired. It's a choreography. You have to create a choreography. So the doormat is already a big frog, correct your vision while you sleep, or sleepandsee.com, which is our website. The reception TV, if you just come into the office, it's just videos of patients showing, sharing their experience, or TV appearances. You have photos on the wall of your patients, or patients with their testimonials. You walk through the office. This is all patients. This is all about the patients. We don't have fancy art on the walls. We don't have fancy stuff. We just have communication pieces everywhere we can, and anywhere we can. So this is very important. Just that's internal marketing. Now, it's very inexpensive, right? Now you have to, for instance, we share, like today, right? We should do it more often. We're kind of falling behind on that, but every time we convert a new patient, we dispense them, and then we have these T-shirts, the cute frog and whatnot, and they wear this shirt, and we celebrate them. We just take a picture with them. We put it on social media. If I remember, because that I'm supposed to do that myself. I haven't assigned this particular task to anyone in my staff, and I should at some point, but we are understaffed. Anyway, that's another story. But we put it on. We send it, we blast it by email to all our audience, which is our patients. Well, here is little Johnny, he got frogged, and he's so excited, and Daddy is so excited as well, because he see 2020. So it's all about celebrating our patients, celebrating those successes. Now, this is all internal. Now, as far as external, and again, I don't want to get too long, but external, if you ask me, and every time somebody tells me, how do you learn OrthoK? How do you get to do OrthoK and do it well? And you learn. There's only one way to learn. You do many of them. So in order to do many of them, you need to capture those many. And in order to do that, you need marketing. So no matter how good you are, if you don't have a good marketing plan, you're simply not going to do it. It ain't going to happen. So one way or another, you always fall back to marketing. You have to, if you want to have a serious OrthoK practice, you have to have a marketing plan. So, and by the way, I'll give a shout here, and always do. I love Dr. Despotidis. He has a great. I did it twice. I think I need to do it again. I learned a lot from him, but I mention him because he's got down a plan, a solid plan. And you can do it by yourself. You can just create a plan, marketing plan, where you have all the T's and all the dots connected. And once you do that, you're good. But I was going to say, as far as external marketing, the one thing that works the best now, because I've done newspapers, magazines, radio, TV, I've done it all. I sponsored local teams. I used to go to the football games. I used to go to the health fairs. I mean, you name it. You know what? Nowadays, I'm not going to say all of that is a waste of time, but it's half waste of time. What works, unfortunately or fortunately for, I personally dislike social media, but you have to do it, is the name of the game now. You record your patients, put them in mic, put good lighting, make them look good, have a good background, and interview them. And they're going to tell you the story. You asking the 4 or 5 questions. Then you're going to edit that, put it in a package, do a good video that is decent, put some music on the background, and that's just a little documentary that takes about 5 minutes. You can make a version of 1 minute, 2 minutes for different Instagram versus Facebook or YouTube, whatever. But once you do that, now you're going to post it on Facebook. You're going to post it on Instagram, wherever you want. You can boost it. You can promote it. You can put money on it. And that's the way you reach the masses. You can target what specific people you want to target. What are your which one is your audience? Obviously, you live in Boston, but you know it's going to be the Boston area. You live in Chicago, you live in, and so forth and so on, right? So, but the point is that create story of your own pacing and send it out to the masses. Make sure it's good quality video. Make sure it's short enough. Make sure you pay some money to get it promoted. That nowadays it is what works the best. That's the best bang for the buck. That's my very short version of marketing right now, as far as external marketing is concerned.
It's perfect. It's a great touch. I imagine you have your patients sign something that allows you to use their information in a public forum.
That is correct. That is extremely important. Thank you for saying that, Paul. The moment they say, yes, we want to participate, even for photos. I mean, we take a photo with them, they're going to sign a form. You know, they know it. You know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's brilliant. Why don't you, can you tell us about the frog? I mean, we've all seen the frog.
Yeah.
The frog came from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not for sale. It's coming to me to my tongue. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I love that frog. But, you know, it all started, and it's all, you know, long story short, right? But it was thanks to a name. You know, we all have angels for our life. You know, we have these people that mark your life for the good and for the bad, mostly for the good. For the good, those people that raise your, that elevate you, that push you through challenges, that made you be better, or that really help you accomplish your purposes. And I had one patient. I was marketing on a magazine at that point here, local magazine. It was very expensive, and you know, at some point I dropped it off because he was almost breaking even. I said, you know, after seeing this, no, I don't think we can put bunk for the buck. We're going to put the money somewhere else. But anyway, one thing I got from the magazine is this patient that was very interested about OrthoK for her daughter. So we treated her daughter. She was so over the moon with the results, and she was just so excited. I can't believe it. Know about this and that. So, and up to this day, I mean, she was the little kid, the beautiful girl, beautiful eyes. It was all perfect, you know. She was 11. Up to this day, she's 22, 23. She's still on corner molding. And she's great. She's, you know, she was -3, still -3. Didn't even go up at all. Okay. I mean, I don't know those studies, but I see -3 that don't progress over the years. I'm sorry, you know, maybe we need to do a different kind of OrthoK, but that's what I see in my experience. But anyway, again, beyond the point, but that woman, this angel that to this day, she's my friend and everything. We started talking, and eventually she started promoting for us for free. So she was doing it just because of her heart and love and passion for OrthoK and appreciation for what we had done for her daughter. So eventually I brought her into payroll because she was so great. Wow. Wonderful woman, wonderful lady. But she also had great ideas. So we started brainstorming and said, we need something to attach to the emotions, to connect the product or the service with the emotion. We need that connection, and something missing. These logos are very boring. They're all the same. I associate this and that, a little different colors, whatever. No, we need something different. So, well, how about something that has big eyes? And then her other daughter said, well, how about a tree frog? I don't know if you've seen a tree frog. They're ugly as hell. I mean, they are so ugly. So we took that tree frog and got to connected with a professional, with a freelance drawer, an artist. So I said, well, humanize this ugly frog, okay, make it look pretty. So still, after a few tries, he said, well, that's what it is. That's okay. This says it. That's how we came up with the frog.
That's great. Does the frog have a name?
Cornelius. Cornelius, you get it? Actually,
I get it.
We even did a little contest for Cornelius. So, okay, name the frog, and whoever wins the contest will get an iPad or something. I mean, we were quite generous. That person came and got their iPad. It was like $300 deal, So, but somebody came up with Cornelius, and I was like, duh, why do you come up with that? Cornelius. Anyway, so that was the
perfect. It's great marketing, and it's perfect. I know how much you love it. So
it keeps it fun on,
I love that story. And you had mentioned, when you mentioned Nick Despotidis, you're talking about his Supercharge seminar, I imagine. Right. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to jump in a little bit more clinical for the next question. So you're a very well known and respected hyperopic OrthoK orthokeratologist for hyperopia. And I know a lot of us maybe have dabbled in it or afraid to. And I'm not really, this forum is not the place for you to educate us how to mold a hyperopic cornea. Maybe we'll get to that at a different episode. But what I want to know is how you set those expectations when you have a 42-year-old hyperope or a 50-year-old hyperope or even a 20-year-old hyperope, and they're sitting in your chair and you're thinking, this is a candidate. I want to mold this person. I think they're going to love it. But we know that hyperopia sometimes is a little bit unpredictable. We don't always get a perfect 20/20. You know, how do you have the conversation with the patient that this is something I think you should do?
Yeah, and I would, you know, of course, it's a twofold, threefold question, I guess. But the main aspect of the question is, main part of the answer would be, you have to learn to identify who is a candidate or who can be realistically a candidate, because as you know, not everybody's a candidate, right? So, for example, a +3 -3, or even a +3 -2 axis 180 is not a candidate. A +8 is not a candidate. A +50 with one eye, +50 in both eyes, with a very poor dominancy, it's not a candidate. Okay, you're going to fail miserably, and they will give you high blood pressure and stomach ulcer.
We don't need that.
So those are not good. So you need to identify, and again, like you said, this is not the forum for that. So just common sense. You guys are, you know, everyone that's listening to us are smart folks, smart doctors that have years and years of experience or training, and you know how to identify those patients. I'm telling you little examples. But one thing to know for sure is the dominant eye, right? So you need to understand, what is the dominant eye? Do they have a strong dominancy? And then kind of put in the eyes, okay, this is sort of an estimate of what you're going to be seeing. And for the most part, they will say, I like that. Yeah, I can manage that. And then you got to tell them, you know, I don't tell them, oh, by the way, you know what? Here's the deal. When you say, how do you convert this patient? Well, identify the patient first. Like you said, there's not a perfect, all right? So, but listen, progressive lenses are not perfect. They ain't perfect either. And millions of people all over the world wear those glasses, right? So really, even though perfect doesn't exist, you have to put it in a good light because of the amazing value that we're offering these folks when you put them on cornea molding. Just imagine that there are three things that are important to convert these patients, or to tell them, okay, well, once you identify the patient, that you have to describe it right. You have to give them a presentation. So I use 3D. So I use video that I even created my own video. I think I shared that with you, that video. I was going to, we'll have to talk about that. I talked to Cheryl about it, and I said, well, this video, I think everybody would benefit. There's not a video up there that explains how hyperopic OrthoK works. Right. Not to the point that I know. There's for myopia, but there's not one for hyperopia. Well, I hire someone to create that video. So I use that video all the time with my patients. So this is what happens on the cornea, and this is the way you're gonna see it, and so forth and so on. But so you use video, 3D video, because it's high tech. People understand it. This image, they feel like it's high tech. Wow, this is really cool. I am learning something. So this is presbyopia. This is why you don't see up close. This is the crystalline lens, doesn't flex, this and that. This is the options. You're going to tell them glasses, contacts, and LASIK and OrthoK, right? And even sometimes clear lensectomies or whatever, right? And you tell them, okay, this is the problem with glasses, the problem with contacts, this is the problem with LASIK, this is the problem with, and then you have that one in the middle that is this perfect middle that allows you to see clear with your naked eyes without surgery. And all you have to do is to put the things night to sleep. That recharges your eye batteries, and recharging your eye batteries just the way you charge your phone at night, you charge your eyes. During the day, you can't forget about glasses. You can now be completely independent from glasses. Their eyes go like this. It's like they're salivating. They're, oh my God, I want that. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what I'm. So again, the idea is to stop the technicalities the moment that it's faster the better, and tell them why they want that, why they need it. And they want it and they need it because of what I just said. And that's the inspiration of value that you're creating on them. Okay, you know what? Now I'm ready to pay the $3,000 or whatever you charge, right? So that's very important for them to understand that. Now, the other thing is that, going back to your question, the other thing, of course, is just the design, how you design. I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but as far as converting the patients, that's the important part. The 3D, and then explain it in a way that creates and inspires value.
Yeah. So I really like the analogy of recharging the eyes, especially because that really is a good description for hyperopia. And also, myopes and hyperopes are such different animals that many +4 and 5 hyperopes don't even wear glasses half the time. Or if they do, it's a cheap pair of like 150 readers. So it seems to me that any improvement that you can make, any reduction in their total, measurable hyperopia is going to succeed, right?
Yeah, well, Paul, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the best candidate for OrthoK for Hyperopic OrthoK is the +3, 50-year-old or so ish, that never wore glasses, because they don't realize that they refuse to wear glasses, first of all, and they are seen already 20/50. They're getting by. Now they're not going to be as picky. Now you may have a +1 that wears glasses always. You're going to correct them, and they're going to be miserable. They may. It depends on them. You have the Debbie Downer personality. You have the super upbeat, positive people. So you have to identify those, right? And again, that's a different topic. It gets really complex when we talk about candidacy. But you're right. +3s that never corrected, would never wear glasses. Those are excellent. Given to me every time. You're going to make them happy.
Yeah, and it makes them feel old, and who wants to feel old, right?
Right.
Well, I know a few people do, but most people don't want to feel old. The last thing I want to ask, because we're getting a little short on time, but you said how important eye dominance was, and having someone with a strongly dominant eye. Is that because do you tend to maybe bias the dominant eye a little bit more toward distance and the non more toward near when you're creating molds?
Yeah, and there's really no other way around it, right? I mean, you can have you can do it different ways, but the thing is that if you want to provide near and distance and near to presbyo patients over 40 that are +2, +3, even +1, whatnot, you have to do it in a way that you protect their distance or preserve their distance as much as possible, providing near vision. So you're going to have this monovision or modified monovision in a way where the dominant eye is going to be designed or molded for distance, where the non-dominant eye is going to be designed for near. Now, the good thing is that patients may be able to see 20/20 up close with both eyes open, while the non-dominant eye is about 20/25, 20/30. So the multifocal effect that you can create with cornea molding or OrthoK, Hyperopic OrthoK, is in a way, a more efficient multifocal than what you can get with regular contacts. But anyway, you're trying to accomplish the same thing. And this is always, always, always a center near, bifocal design, if you will, right? There's no such thing as a center distance. You could try, but the aberrations, the higher order aberration is so wild that these patients are never happy. It's just experiment with soda that will never succeed. So you're going to have to always have this near center near design.
Yeah, that's great advice. So, all right, I do want to wrap up because I'm trying to keep these discussions short enough that people actually want to watch it and stay in tune. And I think that there's definitely an area of discussion to dig into a little bit deeper with actually how to mold these things. So maybe we'll get into that the next time. But I do want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your mentorship to me. You mentioned that we both started around the same time, and you helped me get through a lot of cases that I was struggling with, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me and everything you've done for the Academy. You're a good friend of the Academy and a dear friend of mine, so I do want to thank you very much for joining me on this chat.
Well, I appreciate, Paul. It's an honor. It's my honor. It's a privilege to be part of this great organization. I consider you my friend as well. I admire you and respect you very much. And I wish you guys well. So anytime. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And please visit aaomc.org. And if you're not a member, please consider joining the family. It's our membership dues help us in our mission to kick myopia's butt. And that's what we're all about. So I'd also really recommend that you look into earning your IACMM or your certification in myopia management and ultimately get on the fellowship track. And with that, again, I'd like to thank Dr. Arroyo, and I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.